Cancer, tender heart. Can we just acknowledge the currents for a moment? Let the world outside continue its rush, but right here in this space, let us dive into the deep. There is a sacred current moving toward you, something ancient and deeply knowing, and it asks not for your immediate action, but for your profound presence. This is not a message that arrives with a shout. It is a divine whisper that has been circling your sensitive spirit, waiting for a moment of quiet like this one. A moment when you could finally feel its truth in your deepest emotional waters. You did not find your way here by accident. You were not led by an algorithm, but by a subtle pull from the deepest part of your own heart. A lifetime of nurturing others, of feeling deeply, of creating a safe harbor in the storm, all of it has been seen. And it has created a resonance, a frequency that has called this message directly to you. Perhaps you have felt it already, like a quiet stirring in your soul, a sense of deep knowing that something profound is preparing to embrace you. You are right to feel it, because the universe is leaning in Cancer not to rush you, but to finally meet you where your heart truly resides. This space we are sharing was created for souls just like yours, the empathetic protectors, the intuitive nurturers, the emotional anchors in a restless world. And if these words feel like they are speaking to a part of you that has long felt unseen, then I invite you to become a part of this unfolding. Your energy is a sacred contribution. By taking a moment to like this video, you are not just clicking a button. You are sending a ripple of resonance out into the world. When you subscribe to Zodiac of Mind, you are joining a circle of souls who are all learning to listen to that quiet voice within. And when you are moved to share this, you are becoming a beacon for another heart who may need this gentle light. To anchor your own intention here today, you might simply write in the comments, "I am ready to embrace." Because that simple declaration spoken from your heart tells the universe that your spirit is open and your time for profound emotional peace has finally come. There is a story often told in the quiet corners of the spirit, a story of divine timing. We are taught to wait for the perfect moment for a sign so clear it cannot be denied. But Cancer, what if the invitation you have been waiting for is not in a sign, but in the intuitive knowing you have been living with? What if the stillness that has surrounded you was not a pause, but a preparation? You who are ruled by the ever-changing grace of the moon understand the rhythm of the tides. You know that a seed does not force its way through the soil. It waits for the right conditions, for the warmth, for the rain. It waits in quiet knowing. And you have been waiting, haven't you? In a deep and patient stillness, often protecting your tender self within your shell. But perhaps, just perhaps, that stillness has served its season. Lately, that quiet has been stirred by something more. You have seen it in the numbers that seem to follow you, appearing on clocks and receipts like gentle footprints from the divine, perhaps 777, a number that hums with the energy of sacred alignment. You have felt it in dreams that feel more like vivid memories, or perhaps echoes from your ancestral line, leaving a taste of déjà vu on your tongue when you awaken. You have known it in the sudden chill that runs across your skin when there is no breeze, a signal from the unseen world that you are not alone. These are not coincidences, dear soul. This is the universe speaking to you in its own secret language, a language your spirit has always understood. Think of the old stories not as myths, but as soul blueprints. Think of Esther, who found herself standing before a king, not because she craved power, but because she was placed there to protect her people, her heart heavy with their vulnerability. Her spirit did not wait for perfect courage. It simply knew that to remain silent would cost more than to speak. Or Moses, who stood before a burning bush, his heart filled with doubt, his voice uncertain. The call was never about his readiness. It was about his surrender to a timing far greater than his own. They both learned the truth that is now arriving for you. Divine timing does not wait until we feel perfectly prepared. It arrives when the heavens decide the moment is holy. You know the weight of emotional indecision, Cancer. You hold every possibility in your sensitive hands, feeling the texture of every path, weighing vulnerability and hope in equal measure. But there comes a time when all that careful sensing must make way for a simple, quiet trust. The pull you feel in your heart right now That gentle but insistent tug, it is not panic. It is divine insistence. It is a holy invitation, a pressure from the universe that is not meant to break you, but to tenderly open you. The world teaches us to delay our own becoming. It tells us to wait until every wound is healed, every path is mapped, every fear is conquered. But what if the divine is not asking for your perfected shell? What if it is only asking for your beautiful, vulnerable presence? What if the breakthrough you have been praying for is not wrapped in a flash of lightning, but in a subtle disruption that feels strangely sacred? Perhaps it shows up as a difficult conversation that finally clears the air and restores emotional peace. Perhaps it is a door that opens just a crack, an offer that seems too small to matter, but it is the one that leads you into a new world of emotional freedom. If you turn away now, if you dim the light of your own knowing one more time, you may miss the very miracle that has been hiding in the quiet corners of your everyday life. You are being called back into a new kind of alignment. Not the old alignment where peace meant absorbing everyone else's emotions to keep the waters calm. This is a deeper, truer balance where your own soul sets the rhythm and your life gently learns to follow its lead. The season of retreating into your shell is over. The signs have spoken in their quiet tongue. All that remains is your gentle response. So let me ask you with all the tenderness in my heart, what have you been delaying? Not because it was the wrong choice, but because you did not feel you were emotionally strong enough to make it. What inner door have you left untouched simply because no one else gave you the permission you thought you needed to walk through it? You do not need to wait for the divine to thunder its truth from the heavens. It is already humming beneath your skin like a quiet, sacred drum. Your turning point will not crash into your life with fireworks and noise. It will arrive in the stillness, in the sacred moment when you finally whisper yes into your own silence. And what if that yes does not just shift your own world, but also gently redirects the path of someone you love? Remember, destiny rarely moves in isolation. When you rise into your own truth, someone nearby feels the emotional ground beneath them become a little more steady, a little more safe. When you answer the pull of your own spirit, you unknowingly light the way for another soul who is still wandering in the dark. You have carried this question in your heart long enough. The doorway is open. The invitation has been sent, and now it waits only for your heart's reply. There is a kind of peace that is not peace at all. It is the deep hush that conceals a quiet discomfort. For you, Cancer, a soul wired for deep feeling, for nurturing, for the gentle preservation of emotional harmony, that silence can often become a mask for an inner strain you carry with a grace that few can see. For years, you have likely carried the unspoken emotional burdens of others upon your sensitive heart. You have swallowed your own truths to keep the emotional currents of your family smooth. You have sealed your own pain behind soft eyes and a gentle smile becoming the steady emotional harbor so that everyone else could feel safe. But no one sees the toll it takes to be the constant emotional anchor. No one except the universe. It has seen every moment. And now something divine is asking you to gently step out of that inherited silence, not to create conflict, but to finally release the emotional truth that will set generations of your lineage free. You are standing at a sacred turning point, a moment where the silence that once felt like safety is ready to be transformed into a truth that heals. The worn-out patterns of worry, of self-sacrifice, of quiet suffering that have been passed down through blood and memory, they are coming to a gentle halt. Because you, with your quiet emotional strength, are choosing to say, "This pattern stops with me." Perhaps no one ever gave you the space to speak your heart. Perhaps in your family, speaking your truth felt dangerous, like a ripple that might become a storm. But now, Cancer, that silence is no longer a form of protection. It has become a gentle gatekeeper standing before the very healing your soul came here to initiate. Think of Esther again, not as a distant figure in a holy book, but as a symbol of your own embodied courage. She did not step into the king's chamber because she craved attention or power. She walked through that door because the cost of her silence had become too great to bear, threatening her people's safety. Like her, you are standing at a sacred edge. You do not need a throne. You do not need permission. You do not even need everyone around you to understand. What you need is the deep-rooted tenderness to say, "This is not my emotional burden to carry anymore. I will not keep this wound alive in my family by staying quiet about it." When you do this, you are not just healing your present self. You are gently rewriting the emotional blueprint of your entire lineage. And yes, that is a profound responsibility, but it is also the purest form of release. What if your voice, spoken with love and vulnerability, does not break what has been built, but finally allows what was always meant to grow to take root? What if your gentle no is the most loving, yes, your inner child has ever needed to hear? What if your quiet honesty is the very ancestral courage that no one before you knew how to access? So here is a gentle invitation. Find a quiet moment, a pen, and a piece of paper. Breathe slowly, deeply into your belly, feeling your connection to your emotional core. And then begin to write down every emotion you have tucked away in the hidden corners of your heart. Every moment you rehearsed a conversation in your mind, but never let it pass your lips. Every wave of feeling that burned in your chest, but dissolved behind clenched teeth. Let them spill onto the page without judgment. Let them breathe in the gentle light of your own awareness. And when your spirit feels ready, choose one of those truths and speak it aloud, even if it is just a whisper to your own reflection in the mirror. That single simple act can shake something loose in your energetic field, like a gentle tremor deep beneath the soil that signals a coming spring. And the next time someone crosses a boundary, a line that you have always allowed to be blurred, try this. Pause. Take a breath that roots you into your emotional ground. And with a calm, steady voice, simply say, no. No anger, no apology, just the quiet firmness of your own clarity. Each time you do this, you send a healing ripple through your body's memory, through your family's story, and through the energetic field of all who will come after you. Remember, true healing does not always arrive with a loud crash, but it always arrives with truth. And your truth, offered gently but without wavering, may be the holiest gift you have ever given, both to yourself and to those who are still waiting for you to lead the way. Every season of a life holds a sacred window, a brief and potent opening when the energies of the universe align, just so making space for a profound shift. For you, Cancer, the next 48 days are holding just such an energy. You have felt it, haven't you? A quiet stirring in your emotional waters, a sense that the ground is fertile and something new is wanting to grow. And yet a thick fog of hesitation may be drifting and holding you back from planting the seeds of your becoming. But what if I told you that this fog of doubt does not truly belong to you? What if the weight you are feeling is not your own confusion, but a gentle resistance from old emotional patterns that are afraid of your newfound clarity? What if this delay is not a sign of your own weakness, but simply the world's noise attempting to distract you from this sacred moment of your own power? So often we wait for the perfect moment to arrive, like a grand announcement, expecting fireworks in the sky, a booming voice from the heavens. But destiny almost never knocks on the door so loudly. It stirs within us through gentle urges, through repeated nudges from our intuition, through a quiet pull that we can feel deep in our bones. And Cancer, those whispers that have been surrounding you, they are not just whispers anymore. They have grown into a clear and loving call. You have been seeing the angel numbers. Your inner knowing, that deep gut feeling that guides you, has sharpened into a reliable compass. You can sense a doorway standing open just beyond the veil of your everyday reality. And now all that is left is your willingness to gently step across the threshold. If you act, Cancer, if you take even one small heart-centered step forward in the direction of your heart's true calling, the entire energy around your life will begin to shift in response. In that moment of beautiful alignment, 4 sacred blessings will begin to move gently toward your shore. First, a doorway of emotional security and abundance will open around your finances. This may appear as a new and unexpected stream of income, a payment that was long overdue, or a gift that seems to arrive from out of nowhere. But please know this is not a random stroke of luck. It is the universe responding to your choice to honor your own truth and move forward. It is a reflection of your own readiness to feel safe and supported. Second, a person will gently cross your path at the exact moment you need them most. This soul may bring with them a piece of wisdom, a timely opportunity for connection, or simply the profound comfort of being truly seen and understood on an emotional level. They are no accident. They are a part of the divine design that is unfolding for you now. Third, something in your life may quietly fall away. It could be an old emotional tie, a promise you held onto from the past, or a situation that has long outlived its purpose in your journey. At first, it may feel like a loss, a bittersweet release, but in truth, it is your liberation. Do not chase after it. Let it go with grace. Its absence is creating the sacred space for your next beautiful chapter to begin. And fourth, your own spiritual senses will begin to awaken more fully than ever before. You may notice your intuition becoming sharper, your empathic feelings deepening, or your dreams becoming more vivid and filled with gentle guidance that speaks directly to your soul. These are not just mystical gifts. They are the sacred tools you will need to navigate the beautiful path that is now opening before you. Let yourself sit with this gentle heart. You are not being punished for the times you paused, for the seasons you retreated into your shell. You are simply being invited to move in a different way now. And to do that, you will need to support your body, your mind, and your energy field with gentle intention and loving care. Begin by tuning into the rhythms of the moon. When the moon is in fiery Aries, it is a time for bold, new, heart-centered action. When it is in dreamy Pisces, it is a time for deep insight and intuitive listening. These are not just events in the sky. They are energetic waves that flow in perfect harmony with your soul's natural rhythm, guiding your emotional tides. Take some quiet time to revisit the stories you hold about money and abundance. What beliefs did you inherit about wealth, about your own worth, about what it means to feel truly safe and secure? Your lived experience will always gently echo your deepest beliefs, so it is time to shift the pattern from the inside out. Try journaling affirmations that feel true in your body, such as "I am worthy of a calm and lasting abundance," and the deep emotional security that comes with it. Or "Resources flow to me with gentle ease and divine intention, creating a safe harbor for my dreams." Let these truths become the new language of your nervous system. Do not overlook the subtle power of color. The shimmering hues of silver and pearl connect deeply to your lunar nature, helping to reflect and purify your emotional field. Soft, sea green colors soothe your heart space and encourage gentle self-expression. Wear these colors. Place them in your home. Let their gentle energy be a constant reminder of your sacred alignment and your inherent need for emotional safety. And as you step into this fuller, more authentic version of yourself, carry this truth in your heart when the old fears try to slow you down. Delay is the echo of an old story, but gentle movement is the mark of a soul that is ready to come home to itself. You already hold the key, Cancer. All that remains is the turning of your hand. There is something so quietly powerful about the way you hold yourself in the midst of chaos, Cancer. While others may spiral into anxiety or scatter their energy in a panic, you have a way of sinking deeper into your emotional core. Not because you are absent or passive, but because you are deeply and profoundly anchored in your feelings. That incredible strength is not an accident. It is a form of divine intelligence that was woven into the very fabric of your spirit. The truth is, your soul's blueprint was etched with the virtues of emotional depth, deep intuition, and a calm, unwavering empathy. You are not simply someone who keeps the peace. You are someone who holds the emotional foundation steady while the storm passes over. You are ruled by the moon, not just in the realms of intuition and emotional depth, but in a soul-deep knowing, in the ability to feel the true pulse beneath the surface of things. You sense when an emotional energy is off balance. You make the subtle adjustments that others do not even notice. That is why you so often find yourself in the center of difficult emotional dynamics, unresolved family wounds, or tense environments. where no one else seems to know how to navigate the waters. It is not because you are cursed Cancer. It is because you are equipped. Your very presence has the power to shift the energy of a room. Your quiet knowing heals more than you will ever realize. And though people may never name it, though they may never thank you for the invisible emotional work you do, the divine sees it all. Souls who carry this kind of sacred assignment often feel the gentle ache of loneliness, not because they are truly alone, but because their path asks for a depth of emotional and energetic strength that few around them have yet cultivated. You may have asked yourself 1,000 times why you always seem to be the one who forgives first, who takes a breath before reacting, who holds the peace when everyone else is spinning out of control. But there is a divine power in that steadiness. It is the same grounded strength that Deborah, a prophetess and judge, embodied so long ago. She was a wise and nurturing leader who guided her people with both strength and compassion, never shying away from protecting her tribe. You carry that same sacred essence within you now. Souls like yours walk closely with Archangel Gabriel, whose name means God is my strength. Gabriel brings clarity guides, sensitive souls, and helps in nurturing new beginnings. And when you take just 15 seconds in the quiet of the morning to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and whisper, Gabriel, clarify my truth and strengthen my heart's voice, something sacred shifts within your energetic field. Your nervous system steadies, your thoughts come home to your heart, and your light, quiet, but unwavering begins to rise. You begin to remember that you have never ever been walking this path alone. You are part of a woven lineage of soul keepers, guardians of emotional peace, whose purpose stretches far beyond what can be measured by worldly applause. Even Ruth, soft-spoken and steady in a world of uncertainty, chose loyalty, alignment, and devotion when everything else around her was falling apart. She did not rage against her fate. She did not beg for an easier path. She simply aligned herself with a higher, quieter truth, honoring her lineage and her chosen family. And from that one simple act of faith, a legacy of grace unfolded. You carry that same imprint, Cancer. The choices you make, especially the quiet ones that are rooted in your own integrity and deep care, are shaping a future that your family and your soul tribe will one day rise up to bless. So try this the next time you feel torn between softening your truth to make someone else comfortable and honoring what you know to be real for your heart. Pause. Place a hand on your heart and ask, what truth wants to be lived through me in this moment? Write it down. Let that question become your compass. Because this journey is not about being accepted by everyone. It is about being deeply aligned with your own soul. And if today you are feeling misunderstood or heavy from the burden of always being the one who holds it all together emotionally, please remember this: you are not the only one. There are others just like you across generations and continents and soul constellations who were wired in the exact same way. They are the unseen emotional anchors, the quiet guardians who are keeping this world from tipping too far into chaos. You are a part of that sacred thread. You do not just preserve the calm, you shape reality with the steady, gentle light of your soul. And that is a power far greater than the loud world will ever know how to measure. There is a quiet storm stirring in the hearts of many Cancer souls right now. A deep and sacred conflict between the lifelong habit of protecting the emotional harmony and the soul's deep yearning to honor its own vulnerable truth. You have worn the armor of endurance for so long, so gracefully, that you sometimes forget what your own heart has been longing to say. But real peace, the kind that settles deep in your bones, does not come from avoiding tension. It comes from gently releasing what no longer belongs in your body, in your energy, and in your life. It might feel safer to stay quiet than to disturb the energetic field around you. It may seem easier to nod when you disagree, to compromise, when you feel unheard, to confront nothing in the name of comfort. But that perceived safety comes at a cost. When you press your own truth down for long enough, your own inner voice begins to blur. Your needs stay buried beneath the needs of others. Your own dreams fall dormant in the name of keeping everything and everyone else running smoothly. But your spirit, Cancer, was not meant to shrink. It was made to stand tall, rooted in what is real and true for your tender heart. Energetically, your sacral chakra, the second energy center in your body, is the wellspring of your emotional expression, your creativity, your sensuality, and your soul's deepest desires. When this sacred center becomes blocked or imbalanced from years of unspoken feelings or absorbed emotions, you may feel emotionally dull, unsure of what you truly want, or cut off from your own inner rhythm. The color of seafoam green, or a gentle oceanic blue, connects powerfully to this chakra, sending a gentle invitation for your true feelings to rise safely to the surface. Something as simple as wearing this hue, lighting a candle in its warm shade, or even painting with it can begin to unlock what has been sleeping inside you for too long. It is more than just a color. It is a signal to your soul that you are finally ready to feel again. This is not about creating conflict or seeking out confrontation. It is about choosing with gentle intention to stop disappearing from your own life. And that journey begins in the still sacred space where you meet yourself with complete and loving honesty. Ask yourself this question: what are 5 emotions you have been too afraid to fully feel or express? The ones that feel heavy in your chest, the ones that are quiet and buried but are still breathing. Write them down. Look at them without an ounce of judgment. You do not have to act on them just yet, but simply naming them is how you stop the slow, unconscious drift of self-abandonment. Even saying "I see this differently" just once a week is an act of sacred rebellion against the old patterns. It tells the universe, and more importantly, it tells yourself, "I am here. My voice matters. My energy belongs in this world just as it is." And with time, the guilt of not fitting perfectly into someone else's mold begins to fade. You start to retrieve all the beautiful energy you once gave away, trying to keep everything comfortable for others. That energy is now yours to keep, yours to build a life that is a true mirror of your own values, your own vision, and your own sacred truth. In healing work, we often speak of false peace as a survival strategy, a shield we built as children to avoid rejection, conflict, or the fear of being left behind. But you are no longer that child. You are a grown soul now evolving with every breath, with full and divine permission to speak, to feel, and to move in a new direction that honors who you have become. The deepest healing does not come from trying to reshape your outer world to fit your old self. It comes from creating a profound sense of safety inside yourself to finally gently tell the truth. Your truth is not something to be feared. It is a river. And when a river is dammed for too long, the pressure builds until it eventually crashes through. But when you let it move gently through your words, through your boundaries, through your art, and your use of color, you begin to breathe fully again. You begin to laugh without effort, to live without pretending, and to love without shrinking. So perhaps this is your gentle invitation, not to set fires but to carry a flame, not to shout but to speak, not to fight but to say with a calm and rooted certainty, "This is who I am, and I am allowed to be here." Because when you choose to be honest with yourself, Cancer peace stops being a visitor that comes and goes. It becomes your true home. And from that deeply rooted place, real miracles finally begin to grow. Cancer, if you have stayed with this message this far, it is because something deep and true inside you is waking up. You did not land in this space by chance. The timing of this message has been circling your energy field like a gentle moon waiting for the moment you would be ready to open to its light. Because your becoming cannot wait any longer. There is a profound shift happening inside you. You have felt it, a kind of sacred pull, a quiet knowing that tugs at the very center of your being. You are standing on the bridge between the life you have known and the life you were always meant to claim. And that bridge begins with one simple choice: to remember that the key to that new life has been in your hand all along. You were never built to blend in. You were never meant to shrink to fit the shape of someone else's world. You were carved from divine intention, with emotional depth in your bones and beauty in your every breath. Your very existence is the evidence that creation makes no mistakes. It is time to rise, Cancer. Not because the path ahead is perfectly clear, but because your spirit is finally ready. You are being called now to become the gentle guardian of your own becoming, to stop waiting for permission from the outside world, and to start walking as if the door has already opened for you, because it has. Every affirmation you have whispered in the dark, every tear you have cried behind closed doors, every single time you chose to have faith when logic told you to give up, it has all been witnessed. The universe took note. And now the gate to your next chapter is standing wide open. But here is the truth that is so often forgotten: miracles do not respond to wishing. They respond to gentle, intentional motion. It is not enough to simply receive this truth in your mind. You must begin to live as if it is already real. Speak the words of your new reality. Take the small, heart-centered step. Gently close the door on what is no longer for you. Say the prayer of gratitude for what is already on its way. Write your new truth down and walk in its light daily until the universe has no choice but to shift and meet your new frequency. So I invite you now to declare it not with force, but with a deep, quiet resolve in your spirit. Comment 777 below to mark this sacred moment as your point of activation. That number is not random. It is a divine sequence, a gentle echo back to the cosmos that says, I am ready, I am present, I am aligned. If something in your soul is stirring right now, if you can feel the ground beneath you rumble ever so slightly, as if something sacred is rising up to meet you, then like this video as a way to honor that beautiful awakening. And if you are ready to walk forward not alone but with a community of other souls who are also rising, subscribe to Zodiac of Mind and join a space where your journey is understood and honored. Remember, the most powerful shifts in our lives do not always roar. They arrive in a moment of quiet resolve, in the single breath that says, it is time. And so I leave you with this blessing, gentle heart. May you have the tenderness to be honest with yourself. May you have the courage to release what is heavy, and may you have the deep, quiet trust to walk forward, even when the path ahead still feels hidden from your view. You are the key holder, Cancer, and the key, it has been in your hand the entire time. Now will you gently turn the lock and allow your emotional waters to flow freely?